Antarctica is the only continent without native land mammals, reptiles, or amphibians. It is also the only continent without significant plant life. However, on this continent, life still thrives. Not only that, but the ice also preserves secrets, even those dating back 1,000,000 years. Number 1. Seals are adorable. In fact, they are known as the ocean puppies. Although they seem to have no thought behind their black, round eyes, scientists have recently discovered that they are much more skilled than we thought. Weddell seals are one of the few species that adapt well to the extreme conditions of the South Pole. They are capable of diving to depths of more than 600 meters and can hold their breath for more than an hour. In addition to their incredible hunting skills, the researchers noted that these seals have an amazing ability to find the breathing holes they need on the surface of the ice. How exactly these holes are detected was a mystery until research supported by the National Science Foundation suggested a possible answer. It seems that Weddell seals have learned to navigate using their sixth sense. Well, we call it the sixth sense, but it's actually more like they've evolved to detect the Earth's magnetic field. Basically, these seals have developed their own GPS. How cool is that? Being able to travel from one breathing hole to another is vital for hunting. Perhaps this so-called sixth sense was necessary for seals to survive in such a competitive environment. Number 2. In early 2022, scientists exploring the depths of the Weddell Sea made an astonishing discovery. They found an immense breeding colony of ice fish, a colony that spans an astonishing 238 square kilometers, roughly the size of Malta. This sprawling nursery contained about 60 million nests, each with a pair of protective parents and thousands of developing eggs. Each nest in this underwater nursery was meticulously constructed by the adult ice fish. They cleaned a circular patch on the seafloor, about 75 centimeters in diameter, where they deposited and protected their eggs. This ensured a stable environment for their offspring, away from predators and ocean currents that could drag the eggs along. This shows how amazing ice fish are. On the one hand, they are one of the few creatures that have adapted to the cold Antarctic waters thanks to their transparent blood, devoid of hemoglobin. They have antifreeze proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming in their bodies, allowing them to thrive in temperatures that would be deadly for most other fish. With the Weddell Sea being one of the last intact marine ecosystems on the planet, understanding its biodiversity is crucial to developing effective strategies to protect it. Number 3. More than a century ago, the North and South Poles were considered uncharted territories, the last frontiers everyone was trying to explore. Among them was Sir Ernest Shackleton's team. On December 5, 1914, Endurance sailed for South Georgia in the direction of the Antarctic continent. The ship, designed to withstand harsh polar conditions, had 28 men on board, including Shackleton, scientists, and even a stowaway who became part of the crew. As they moved deeper into the Weddell Sea, the ice became thicker and more treacherous. Try as they might, the Endurance became a lost cause. In January 1915, he was completely trapped in the ice. The crew made valiant efforts to free the ship, using pickaxes and saws to try to break the ice, but to no avail. The Endurance became firmly trapped in the ice, and when the Antarctic winter arrived, the pressure began to crush the ship. For months, the crew lived aboard the trapped ship, enduring the harsh conditions and waiting for a thaw that never came. On October 27, 1915, Shackleton made the difficult decision to abandon ship as ice crushed her hull, causing her to sink. More than a century after the ship sank, it was finally discovered using submersible vessels and detailed notes from the ship's captain, Frank Worsley. Investigators aboard the South African icebreaker Agulhas II managed to locate the wreck. Surprisingly, the cold Antarctic waters have preserved the wooden ship in remarkable condition, with the ship's name still visible on the stern. The expedition to find the Endurance was a $10 million project funded by an anonymous donor. Today, the Endurance is one of the most significant shipwrecks in Antarctic waters. Number 4. Deep into the dark and mysterious underworld of Antarctica, we find Lake Vostok, an ancient freshwater lake buried under more than 2 miles of solid ice. The lake, which has been isolated from the rest of the world for more than 15 million years, holds a puzzling secret: strange unidentifiable life forms. Russian researchers managed to drill into the thick ice sheet in 2012, penetrating the ice sheet and reaching the lake's ancestral waters. Their goal was simple: to recover samples that could reveal secrets about past climates and, perhaps, reveal whether life could exist in extreme environments. The team made a surprising discovery in Lake Vostok. They found microbes that defied existing classification and had survived in extreme conditions of cold, darkness, and pressure. These findings raise more questions than answers and raise fears about the impact of climate change. As glaciers melt, there is a possibility that ancient unknown organisms will be released into the oceans, with potentially catastrophic consequences. In addition, the idea of a pandemic scenario similar to the Andromeda strain, although it seems far-fetched, reminds us that our knowledge of life on Earth is limited. Number 5. Antarctica is known for being a vast landscape of ice and snow, but the discovery of the subglacial Gamburtsev Mountains has challenged that perception. These mountains, hidden under the ice sheet in East Antarctica, are one of the oldest mountain ranges on the planet, and more than 500 million years old. The discovery of the Gamburtsev Mountains challenges our conventional understanding of mountain formation and erosion. Despite their age, these mountains still stand under the ice, contradicting our knowledge of erosive processes. Studying these mountains is challenging due to their hidden location. Scientists use technologies such as ice-penetrating radar and seismic surveys to investigate them. This lack of direct access makes them a mysterious and ghostly presence. The Gamburtsev Mountains are scientifically fascinating, as they can provide insight into the Earth's geological past and the implications of climate change. However, their mystery also generates some unease due to the uncertainties and secrets they still hold. Number 6. Antarctica is a suitable place for meteorite hunting due to its white background and lack of terrestrial rocks. Russian researchers have discovered some of the oldest meteorites in Antarctica, including one believed to have come from Mars. This meteorite, known as ALH84001, has generated controversy due to the possible presence of fossilized bacteria from Mars in its interior. This raises troubling questions about the existence of extraterrestrial life and its implications for astrobiology. Another prominent meteorite is a chondrite, which originated from an asteroid collision about 470 million years ago. This discovery highlights the catastrophic nature of cosmic events. In general, Antarctic meteorites remind us that life on Earth is linked to the cosmos, and that there are potential dangers that come from space. This poses a constant threat to life on our planet. Number 7. Blood Falls is an iron-rich saltwater flow that dyes Antarctic ice blood red. Discovered by Russian explorers in the 20th century, it is a surreal and disturbing phenomenon in Antarctica. The torrents come from the Taylor Glacier and are fed by a subglacial lake with high iron content. When iron-rich water is exposed to air, it oxidizes and takes on a reddish hue. This discovery highlights the strange and mysterious nature of Antarctica. In addition to their unsettling appearance, the torrents reveal an ecosystem hidden under the Antarctic ice, where extremophile microorganisms can survive and thrive in adverse conditions. These microbes depend on iron and sulfur present in water for their metabolism, performing chemosynthesis in an environment isolated from sunlight and oxygen. This finding challenges our understanding of habitable environments and expands the possibilities for life in the universe. However, it also raises concerns about the consequences of climate change, as melting Antarctic ice could release these organisms into the oceans and lead to unknown impacts on current ecosystems. In addition, blood falls reminds us of Earth's past climates and its volatile climate history, raising concerns about future changes. Number 8. The subglacial Gamburtsev Mountains in Antarctica pose disturbing enigmas and secrets. Their formation lacks geological sense, since they are located in a region unusually far from the boundaries of tectonic plates. These mountains are older than the ice sheet itself, which is puzzling. Uncertainty about its age and unexplained topography challenge our understanding of Earth's geological past. Another disturbing aspect is the presence of subglacial lakes and rivers under the ice sheet. These bodies of water could harbor unknown life forms that have evolved independently, raising questions about life on Earth and beyond. In addition, the Gamburtsev Mountains influence the flow and accumulation of ice in Antarctica, which has implications for climate change and the stability of the ice sheet. This can have significant global consequences. Number 9. At Antarctica's remote Vostok station, alarming levels of radiation have been found. This is due to the high altitude and proximity to Earth's magnetic poles. Station residents are exposed to radiation doses that exceed recommended limits, increasing the risk of cancer. This discovery is terrifying, as it shows us the extreme conditions we might face when exploring other planets. The Vostok station gives us an idea of the difficulties of colonizing places without an atmosphere, such as Mars or the Moon. In addition, these high levels of radiation alert us to the possible effects of a nuclear war or nuclear disaster on the world. They also pose technological challenges due to radiation damage to equipment. As for Yellowstone, its geysers and geothermal system are related to underground magma. Closely observing these phenomena is essential to understand and predict their volcanic behavior. Number 10. Yellowstone's hydrothermal reservoirs contain hot water and steam generated by the heat of the magma chamber. Changes in these deposits indicate possible volcanic eruptions and affect the park's network of geysers, hot springs, and fumaroles. These changes include alterations in water temperature and chemistry, new thermal features, and more geyser eruptions. A major change in hydrothermal reservoirs is increased pressure due to magma, heat, or seismic activity. This causes more frequent or intense eruptions of geysers and other geothermal changes. Changes in water chemistry reveal alterations in hydrothermal deposits. The dissolution of minerals in the water of geysers and hot springs offers clues to these changes. Sudden changes in water chemistry can indicate disturbances in the deposits. The Norris Geyser Basin shows significant changes, such as rising ground levels, geyser activity, and changes in water chemistry, possibly related to the movement of magma. Number 11. Discovered in Antarctica, Hiawatha crater is a huge subglacial crater created by a massive meteorite impact. Their existence reveals the destructive forces our planet has experienced and the potential for future cataclysmic events. The impact would have been a global catastrophe, with fires, tsunamis, and a nuclear winter due to the solar blockade. This highlights the threat of near-Earth objects, such as asteroids and comets. Although efforts are being made to track and prevent impacts, the possibility of disaster persists. This latent risk is disturbing. In addition, the crater challenges our understanding of Earth's history and its connection to mass extinctions and climate change. Discovering Hiawatha crater was a technical challenge, as it is hidden under a layer of ice. This shows that we are still in the early stages of exploring and understanding our planet, especially in remote and hostile Antarctica. Number 12. Antarctica is warming, especially in the west and the Antarctic Peninsula, threatening weather patterns, sea levels, and life on Earth. Warming has been confirmed by various data sources, showing significant increases in surface and subsurface temperatures. Some areas of Antarctica have warmed by more than 2.5 degrees Celsius in the last 50 years. This is causing accelerated ice loss in the West and Antarctic Peninsula, contributing to sea level rise. In addition, warm oceans are eroding ice shelves and fragmenting icebergs. The possibility of reaching critical points with irreversible changes is worrying. The collapse of the West Antarctic ice sheet would raise sea levels, affecting coastal cities and displacing millions of people. These warming trends also impact local and global ecosystems. The decline in sea ice affects keystone species such as krill, altering the Antarctic food chain and affecting whales, seals, and penguins. Globally, changes in Antarctica can influence ocean circulation and weather patterns, intensifying extreme weather events. In addition, warming Antarctica could release large amounts of trapped methane, accelerating global warming and causing drastic and unpredictable changes in climate around the world. Number 13. In a far corner of Antarctica, where the ice never melts and the wind blows hard, a group of researchers made a surprising find. Under the snow and ice, they found remains of old stones from a structure that must have existed thousands of years ago. The blocks were very well cut and had special details that had never been seen in Antarctica. This shows that at some point Antarctica may have had people living there. Although the stones have worn down over time, they show that the ancient builders were very skilled. They found ancient objects around the ruins that came from places far away from Antarctica. Based on the age and type of objects, the researchers think the structure could have been an ancient outpost. Although there are many things we still don't understand, the ways in which they cut and laid the stones indicate that they knew how to build very well with stone. The structure was made to withstand the Antarctic cold and wind, with thick walls and sloping roofs to withstand strong winds and prevent snow from accumulating. This finding shows that in the past there were people living here and adapting to the extreme climate, although we wonder how they built something like this in such a difficult place. The stones and how they are placed tell us that they were brought from far away, which means that they had ways of traveling long distances. Although we don't know much about this ancient society, its way of building and the objects we find make us think of other ancient civilizations. There are still many questions, but these ruins show us that at some point, Antarctica may have had human activity, despite how inhospitable it is now. Number 14. The Antarctic ice sheet is famous for being the largest reservoir of frozen freshwater on the planet. But recently scientists discovered a dynamic aquatic ecosystem hidden beneath the Ross ice sheet. This finding revealed a previously unknown subglacial world, separated from the open sky by more than half a mile of dense ice. What life survives and thrives here in the permanent glacial darkness? A team led by New Zealand melted a narrow portal reaching 500 meters deep through the Ross ice sheet using specialized hot water drilling equipment. A remote camera then revealed the dark waters below, teeming with life. Most abundant were shrimp-like amphipod crustaceans that swarm the underside of the ice sheet. These translucent, blind organisms, which have never seen sunlight, subsist on algae growing on ice. The water column in the underground cavities was layered according to subtle differences in temperature and salinity. This causes an internal circulation that mixes nutrient-rich currents rising from the seafloor with oxygenated meltwater that penetrates through fractures in the ice. The high abundance of amphipods indicates a surprisingly complex and active food web supported by these currents. Finding an oasis of life under the Antarctic ice left researchers stunned. They described it as a Garden of Eden for marine species. Scientists plan to return and sample the unique microbes, algae, larvae, and other organisms that populate this lightless aquatic kingdom. Similar environments are likely to exist under the ice on the margins of Antarctica's peripheral ice shelves.